Judges 2 to 3. Yesterday I read it, but I forgot to record. And so it actually answered the question that I had the day before, that God did not like what the Israelites did. They did disobey him. And God actually then, an angel of the Lord said that I will not drive them out before you. They will become traps for you, and their gods will become snares to you. So the Israelite turned away pretty quickly. And I think that is really frustrating, because it's just like, I think, a generation, like after all the elders who saw what God did died, then they turn away. And that is because they were not raised up. The Bible said they did not know God, or did they know of the things that God did for their ancestors. So the teaching wasn't there. The discipling, maybe they were too busy at war, or wait, there was a time of rest, like after the Canaanite battles, then they did have a time of rest, but they didn't teach their children correctly to love the Lord. And then, yeah, so right here, so the people served God throughout the lifetime of Joshua and of the elders who outlived him. And then after that whole generation, then another generation grew up who knew neither the Lord or what he has done for Israel. And so that is, like, God keep on saying to tell your children, to remind your children, to teach your children, and yet they didn't do that. So they serve God, but I wonder if it's out of duty or out of love, because they did not teach their children that important thing. And so the children now, the next generation now, did evil. They served Baals. They co-married with the people around them, which then led them to idolatry. And so the Lord raised up judges, and the Lord said that that nation has violated the covenant he ordained for their ancestor. And then he allowed nations to remain so that he can test them. And then today's reading, it talked about more about went into detail about which of those and in order. So then it talks again about how God left nations to test the Israelites to see whether they would obey the Lord's command. And so the Judges is like a cycle of doing wrong, crying out, God delivering, doing wrong again. And it talked about each judge that was given to the Israelites and what they did. And the judge actually is like, they were kind of like warriors. In the beginning, they actually delivered the Israelites out of oppression or out of captivity, or not captivity, but kings that they were subjected to, so they actually kill people as a judgment from God, so that the Israelite can be delivered. But this cycle kept on continuing. So it's really frustrating to read for me. Every single time it's frustrating to read about Judges, because it's like, why are they were subject to like someone for 18 years, and then a judge delivered them, they had peace for like 80 years. and then the next generation, it's repeat again. People don't learn their history. People don't learn from other people's mistake. They keep on repeating the mistake, and they keep on going through this cycle. I mean, if I was God, I would be very frustrated at keep having to just keep on dealing with cycles and cries, and like just dealing with that whole thing repeatedly over and over and over again. And I hope that for me and my family, I want that cycle to not happen. Like, I want to, that's why it's so important to me to raise up my children in the way of the Lord, loving God, knowing God, and just having a spiritual mindset, having a view of life through the lens of through a biblical lens, and think about things through a biblical lens, so that they can grow up and they can teach their generation too. And I want that teaching, that discipleship, that mentorship to continue on through my descendants, and that's what's gonna make me most happy.